favorite artists' radio.
Type it in, and there it is.
Now it's even easier to discover what you love.
I love my presets. Adding presets is so much fun.
This looks really nice.
Just in time for the new year, the new and improved iHeartRadio app. It's everything you love about your car radio in the palm of your hand.
Very cool update. 5 stars, guys.
Hi, I'm Benny Jr. with Bartow Ford. And while Bartow Ford is in a small town, we are positioned perfectly for our customers in surrounding counties to make that drive. And we make that drive worth it. Not with just the lowest price, but the very best treatment. And let's face it, what's a little drive compared to the best car buying experience you can have? On your next purchase, don't go the wrong way. But if you can't make it to us just yet, visit us at bartowford.com. Bartow Ford, we're different, and we prove it.
Craving a dose of excitement? Head over to Pin Chasers, the heartbeat of family fun in Tampa. Our lanes are buzzing with laughter, strikes, and mouth-watering food. Whether you're looking for a family outing or a thrilling night with friends, Pin Chasers is the place to be. Plan your next gathering at pinchasers.net and experience the Pin Chasers difference. We guarantee a great time, or it's on us.
Bobby Maggie here. Create tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars in potential tax savings. Learn how at MaggieTax.com. Click on seminars. Attending our seminar will cost you nothing. Not attending can cost you a fortune. Visit MaggieTax.com. Click on seminars.
The Home Depot's new supply house is built for one job, to deliver yours. No cart, all flatbed. And more than a store, our supply house comes to you. Get the whole job delivered as soon as next day from the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
Experience the Anajar Levine difference. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
From the Cool Today Weather Center, cooltoday.com.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Partly cloudy and cool this afternoon, high 60 degrees. Clear and very cold overnight, low 38 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny, high 58, low 40. Friday, sunny, 71. Get weather info around the clock by searching News Radio WFLA on iHeartRadio. I'm Amy Snyder.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
You're locked into The Drive with TKras, presented by Moss Nissan on WDAE.
It's a group that plays extremely hard. I'll say that. That's just the way they're coached. Personnel-wise, I've had some guys move around. You know, Mikey's playing outside a lot more now, and obviously you got Bobby Wagner in the middle, and Frankie Luvu, who's a game changer that they want to blitz him, and Jerry McShin, a really versatile player that I obviously know personally from being teammates. And
Baker Mayfield, the Buccaneers, getting set for that Washington Commanders defense Sunday night. Bucs and the Commanders at 8 o'clock on Wild Card Weekend. Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. Welcome back. 4:35 on your ride home. The Drive with yours truly, TKras, Tom Krasnicki. By the way, the 4 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends over at Pin Chasers, bowling, food, and fun. I think the Buccaneers could have some fun on Sunday night running the football downhill against this Commandos defense that is 30th in the NFL in stopping the run. By the way, the injury update is out. Now, both the Buccaneers and the Commandos each have 16 players listed on the injury list. And I was looking at the yes, Jason Light. And I was looking at the Commanders. Even though they have 16 players listed, the guys that did not practice today, Zach Ertz, Cleveland Farrell, Dante Fowler Jr., Terry McLaurin. I mean, these are starters. These are notable players. They all didn't practice today because of rest. They were rested today. They were giving a Veterans Day off on a Wednesday. Now, the Buccaneers had a walkthrough. You know, had they practiced, the good news for the Buccaneers is this, is that Antoine Winfield Jr. would have practiced in full. Big news. Because of with all those injuries in the secondary, they need one of their playmakers back, and he is a game changer when he's healthy, and the Buccaneers could absolutely use Antoine Winfield Jr. back. So full practice participant on the fake practice report on a Wednesday is a good sign. That means he's in line to return this week. Jamel Dean with a knee injury, actually he's got 2 of them, would have been limited today. Mike Edwards, quad injury, limited. Mike Evans, rest. Logan Hall, groin, did not practice. And Tyke Smith was the other DNP. He didn't practice today because of personal reasons. Hopefully it's not anything too serious. So the real big question is Antoine Winfield Jr. He would have been a full participant at practice. By the way, Cade Otton, who's missed the last couple of games with a knee injury, limited today. So if he's limited on Wednesday, maybe they can ramp him up tomorrow, Friday, to full. If that happens, then the Bucs will likely get Cade Otton back. So some good news, some positive news when it comes to the injuries for the Buccaneers heading into this game on Sunday night. I like it. Now, the tight ends, we talked about them earlier. Man, they've done a really good job. Devin Culp, the 7th-round pick out of the University of Washington. We talked about this Buccaneer draft class from top to bottom, which has been extraordinary. Bucky Irving, the 4th-round pick, maybe the steal of the draft, over 1,000 yards rushing. He's been fantastic, really, the entire season. Over 1,100 yards rushing for Bucky, averaging almost 5.5 yards a carry, 8 rushing touchdowns. He also has 47 receptions out of the backfield. But, surprisingly, no receiving touchdowns for Bucky. Mike Evans, of course, leading the way with 11. But Devin Culp, with Cade Otton out, 5 big catches the last 2 weeks out of Devin Culp. Averaging 17.5 yards a reception. So he's provided some of that big playability. He's got some speed to him. Catches the ball well, getting some yards after the catch. 17.5 yards a catch for a tight end is not too shabby. I realize it's a small sample size, but he has done a really good job in the last 2 weeks filling in for an injured Cade Otton. And I'll tell you what, Cole Keefe, you've been watching that guy blocking people. What a horse that guy is in a run game. Payne Durham catching touchdowns, fantastic as well. I mean, you're talking about 1-2 with Cade Otton back in there. You're talking about a deep tight end room now with young guys. All these guys are young. Culp is a rookie. Keefe is a young guy. Otton is a young guy. Durham is a young guy. 2nd year in the league. Wow. Buccaneers are going places, man. And it's a testament to Jason Light. And this is why, John Spytek is now interviewing for the Titans GM opening. This is why Mike Greenberg is interviewing for the Jets GM opening. When you've had success, unfortunately has his fair share of drawbacks. And other teams are going to want some of your guys. And other players are going to want to get paid. I mean, Jalen McMillan, the 7 touchdowns in the last 5 games, just outstanding job by him. So I think the Buccaneers are on the right track. And look, I know Washington's a good team. They won 12 games during the regular season. I'm not taking them lightly. The concern that I have, it's a primetime game, and, you heard what Todd Bowles had to say earlier about that. Todd Bowles, on those primetime games, this was his explanation from earlier today. Listen to this.
It's just an odd stat for me. I mean, we've lost some 1 o'clock games. We lost some 4 o'clock. We lost some 8 o'clocks.
No, it's not odd. Because you've won some 1 o'clocks. You've won some 4 o'clocks. You know what your record is? Primetime this year? 0-4. It's not odd. It's a thing. Now, hopefully the Buccaneers can buck the trend. Yeah, you see what I did there? Buck the trend. Bucks. Bucky. Ducky. Luck of the duck. The duck had better be in the building on Sunday night. I'm working on this from all different angles. Sarah Walsh, I talked her into it. She's going to have a duck. She's going to kidnap a duck from somewhere. And look, you can find a duck anywhere here in the Tampa Bay area. And, Greg Auman, too, he's on the case. You got to get a duck in the building on Sunday night. I guarantee you there will be a duck. It won't be the duck that flew onto the field before the block punt 2 weeks ago. Or the duck that maybe Ryan Jensen comes in with that same duck. He brought a duck into the building. There needs to be a duck somewhere. The luck of the duck must continue. I'm into superstitions like this, especially in the last couple of weeks. The duck is a real thing. Got to have the duck in there. Somebody texted in, I thought Bucky got a receiving. No, because it was kind of like a backwards pass by Baker. That counted as a touchdown run for Bucky Irving on Sunday. So it was not a touchdown reception per se. Hey, maybe Sunday night he can get his first NFL touchdown reception against the Commandos. I mean, they've got some decent linebackers, the ageless one, Bobby Wagner, Frankie Luvo. But I'll tell you this, and Todd Bowles called Bucky Irving today a complete football player, one of the best he's seen at making guys miss. Bobby Wagner's good. Frankie Luvo's good. They didn't see the entire package of Bucky Irving in week one. They will on Sunday night. Bucky Irving is now the featured back, and he's a hell of a playmaker. And Washington had better be ready for him. You better be ready for Mike Evans. You better be ready for Jalen McMillan. More importantly, they better be ready for this Buccaneer offensive line, which is playing at a really high level. Your calls, 888-546-4620. Coming up just after 5 o'clock, we've got a big announcement regarding this here show. No, we're not being canceled, as some of you are hoping. And then at 5:30, would you rather? Somebody had a really interesting would you rather on the text platform there, Chris Mathis. I think it's a good one.
I saw it. Be ready for that one.
I think so. And also some interesting text, too. We'll address when we come back. Also on the way back, another huge sporting event is coming to Tampa Bay. This is breaking news, and we'll tell you about it next here on The Drive.
You're tuned in to The Drive with TKras.
Boy, I don't have to tell you. It was 37 degrees when I woke up this morning. It was a bit nipply out there. So if heat is an issue, if getting hot water is an issue at your house, my advice to you would be to call on my guys over at Ruud, the certified Ruud Pro partner. They know an awful lot about two things, air and water. You know you can rely on Ruud to keep your indoor air comfortable, whether it's heating, air conditioning, they're all over it. And now you know you can rely on Ruud to make sure your hot water's flowing, guys, when you need it. So if your wife is complaining, hey, the hot water heater isn't working, I can't take my hot shower or my hot baths, then you need to get on the phone and get to RuudACFlorida.com. That's Ruud, R-U-U-D, acflorida.com. Ruud Water Heating is the industry leader for total water heating solutions. If you need conventional tank-type water heaters, they've got it. Tankless water heaters, that's what I have. They have that too. Replacement parts, accessories for all categories. Ruud is your one-stop solutions provider. And with the exclusive backing of Ferguson HVAC, your certified Ruud Pro partners get the best products and parts. Ruud water heaters, engineered tough, built to last for AC and water heating solutions. Connect with a certified Ruud Pro partner now. Go to RuudACFlorida.com. Again, Ruud, R-U-U-D, acflorida.com. Tell them TKras sent you.
WDAE traffic.
All right, welcome back. It is The Drive with yours truly, TKras, Tom Krasnicki. 4:52 on your ride home on this Would You Rather Wednesday. Would You Rather coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Also, in about 10 minutes, stay tuned. We've got a big announcement here on this program. Yes, it is a big announcement. And we're not being canceled or whatever. Some of you jagoffs think that we're going to get bumped off the air or whatever. I suppose anything's possible, but that's not what the announcement is. And some of you are guessing, you're off. I'll just say that. All right, so big news. Are you ready for some hockey? Are you ready for some hockey outdoors? Because the outdoor game is coming to Tampa Bay next year, February the 1st, 2026. The Lightning will take on the Boston Bruins at Raymond James Stadium. It'll be a night game that will be broadcasted nationally on ESPN. So we've been hearing these rumblings for a few months now. And now it is official. Lightning and the Bruins, February 1, 2026. So,
are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. Nikita Kucherov. I figure you would be very excited about the news. We're all excited here. John Cooper's excited. The Lightning are excited. This is a major breakthrough. An outdoor game in the state of Florida. I mean, come on. Now, if it's as cold next February the 1st as it was last night, as it will be tonight, then it's perfect. But this is really cold, though.
Chilly.
It is chilly. Thank you. Thank you, Todd. It's cold. It's cold outside, Paulie.
Yeah, it's a little chilly.
It is a little chilly. So if we get the same type of cold front that blows through next February the 1st, and I think it's going to be a great atmosphere for hockey at Ray J. 65,000 capacity. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm in. Save me a seat somewhere. Maybe like in section 328, in the upper level. Yes, thank you, John Cooper. I'm sure if it was up to you, I'd be in the parking lot, nowhere near the stadium. You know, probably selling some hot dogs or something. But I think this is exciting. And look, it just goes to show how the game has grown and how the state of Florida continues to get more and more respect when it comes to hockey, which I never thought I would see the day. You had Florida win the Stanley Cup last year, and then you've had, obviously, the Lightning have won 3. So the state of Florida getting more respect when it comes to hockey. Who would have thunk it? But I think it's great. 888-546-4620. Let's go to our phones. Daryl is in Tampa. Daryl, what's going on?
Hey, TKras, and I will say this. How is it possible I could possibly sneak an octopus into Ray J Stadium to fling onto the ice without security catching and sniffing onto me? I wonder how that's possible. But I would like to say, for the upcoming Go Buccaneers fans, I want you to act irate. I want you to act crazy. Cheer this team on. Give them unlimited energy. And I would like to request that the officiating crew that officiated this last game, please do not show up. Go Bucks. Go Bucks.
Thank you,
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. All right, yeah, thank you. Fire him, get him off the air. Cigar Craig down at Liquid Ranch, what's happening?
Merry New Year, TKras.
Merry New Year.
So my wife and I went to the one in Nashville. My wife and I went to the one in Nashville, the Lightning, and it was a blast. And I told everybody for years, I said, we're going to get one. Oh, there's no way they can do it. And I said, the way they handle the ice nowadays, I said, it's going to be something. So it'll be fun to watch. And, no, we don't want an octopus. That's Detroit Red Wings, Daryl. We want to put a duck on there.
Yeah, you know what? Let's get a couple of ducks on the ice. I think that's a great call, Cigar Craig. Let's get a couple of ducks out there on the ice.
Don't do nothing stupid.
Yes, Bucky. You're right out in front of it. Former Oregon Duck. We need ducks here. The more ducks, the better. Ducks are a little cute. They're cute little rascals, you know? All right, 2 hours are in the books. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends over at Pin Chasers, bowling, food, and fun. All right, when we come back, we're going to have some fun. We got a big announcement here on the show for something. It is exciting, Coach. It is exciting, and you're going to know how exciting it is when we come back. We also have Would You Rather. We're on until 7. It's The Drive.
I'm excited.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
I'm glad you're excited, Coach. I'll tell you what's not exciting. Anytime you or a loved one has been involved in an injury accident or product liability or medical malpractice or Social Security disability, that's not exciting. Obviously, it's a life-altering type of event. I know you feel hurt. You feel like your rights have been violated. You need to protect your rights. If any of these things have occurred to you or someone you love, get on the phone. Call my guys over at Catania and Catania. It's the personal injury law firm that's been doing their thing for the last 3 decades here in Tampa Bay. They work on a contingency, which means there's no cost to you unless they win. And they've been doing plenty of winning over the years. Almost $1 billion with a B has been successfully recovered by my guys for injury victims just like you. I called on them when I had my injury accident. They're watching my back. They've got my back. They're in my corner. They'll be in your corner as well. So give them a call. Tell them I sent you. You get a free evaluation of your case at 813-222-8545. That's 813-222-8545 or online.
are off. I'm playing hardball. It's 4th and 15, and you're looking at a full court press.
You're tuned into the voice of the Tampa Bay sports fan.
You're going to like this guy. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us.
Buckle up, because you're on the drive with TKras. Afternoons on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
The work Mike puts in here and the work he's done here, not just here on the field, in the community, the way he's helped guys in the locker room, to get a record like that for 11 years to tie Jerry Rice, who I believe is the greatest of all time, is something you can't try and pass up. And I think everybody was so excited to see it happen, and probably all the emotion I've seen out of Mike more than I've been here.
Todd Bowles with some glowing praise for Mike Evans, who etched his name into the record books on Sunday, 11 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons, tying Jerry Rice. And now Mike Evans might go head-to-head with Marshawn Lattimore. Wouldn't that be something? Sunday night, Bucks and the Commanders on Wild Card Weekend. Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. Welcome back. It is 5:05 on your ride home. The Drive with yours truly, TKras, Tom Krasnicki, presented by Moss Nissan, is on the air. You've got executive producer Chris Mathis on the other side. The 5 o'clock hour is brought to you by Reese Windows and Doors, a proud sponsor and fundraiser for the St. Jude Children's Hospital. For a free quote visit, check them out, reesewindows.com. Your calls and texts are always welcome. 888-546-4620. Text at 82945. At the bottom of the hour, would you rather? We got some tough ones. It's going to be controversial. We'll take you all the way up until 7 o'clock. We've had a big show. Mike Florio was with us in the last hour. Some compelling content out of him. I think I convinced him to vote for Lamar Jackson for MVP. In fact, he had to get in his ballot by 5 o'clock. Hopefully he did so. And then earlier today, we talked to Barrett Sallee about college football. The semifinals resumes tomorrow, or gets underway tomorrow down in the Orange Bowl. Penn State, Notre Dame, then Friday, Ohio State and Texas. Should be some riveting college football action taking place tomorrow and Friday. We saw some college basketball take place last night. Number 1 Tennessee got crushed by Florida. Crushed. The Vols shot 21% from the field. They looked like they didn't belong. It looked like the JV against the varsity. You got to credit the Florida Gators, the number 8 team in the country. They played hellacious defense. They were outstanding. It was a beautiful sight to see if you're a Gator fan. If you're a Vols fan, not so much. I know of a couple of Vols fans around here. One of our leaders, fearless leader, Tommy Chuck, he was very, very upset about the Vols lost. They lost by 30 to the Gators. 30 points. Terrible. I know of another Vols fan that I can think of.
You do?
I do. So, the very special announcement that we've been teasing all week. On Friday at 5 o'clock, and every Friday thereafter, for the foreseeable future, for however long we want to do it, we're going to introduce the 5 o'clock happy hour on Friday. Yours truly will be joined in studio by a very familiar voice and a very familiar personality. You might know him as a Vols fan too, and he's with me right now. Ronnie Night Train Lane will be with me each and every Friday for the Friday happy hour. Ronnie's with me now. How about that Gators-Vols game last night, huh?
What game are you talking about, man? I didn't see anything.
I saw nothing, man.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. What's up?
Let me tell you something, man. That was so embarrassing to watch. I turned it off. I texted you. I said, you know what? I'm going to a movie. This is insane.
Did you went to a movie last night? Did you go see the Bob Dylan movie?
No. I didn't go to a movie. I just, just switched channels. I just turned the game off. I mean, I've never seen the Vols play that poorly in basketball ever.
It was hard to watch. I mean, not if you're a Gators fan, but I think I texted you over the weekend. I watched them beat the seersucker, John Calipari, that ugly jacket he wore, and Arkansas. A lot of people forgot that, he's in Arkansas now because Kentucky was about to fire him. And I was like, wow, I came away from that game thinking Tennessee, and I think I texted you. I'm like, I think I put the whammy on your balls. I said, man, Tennessee's damn good, Ronnie. My goodness.
Yeah, they had been damn good, but they did not look like they were ready to play last night. And you got to give Florida credit because they ambushed the Vols and then just kept the pressure on them. And the Gators are good. One of the Vols assistant coaches had told the Vols media earlier this week after they beat Arkansas, and everybody's feeling pretty good about them being 14-0. He goes, look, the Gators are really, really good. This is probably the best Gators team since O'Donovan's back-to-back championship teams, and he was absolutely correct. They were even better than we thought. But I've never seen a team shoot 4 for 29 from the three-point line. Actually, Tennessee only had 4 field goals in the first half. Tom, you, me, and Chris could get 4 field goals in one half, right?
4 field goals in the first half. Yeah, they that was tough to watch. I mean, not a few of the Gators, obviously, but you're right about Florida. I mean, they got some guys. They've got good guard play. They've got some athletes. And they don't even have that guy, that 8-footer, whatever his name is, that they redshirted. What was his name?
Oh, I don't know. I know who you're talking about. But, the other embarrassing thing for Tennessee last night is Florida's leading scorer had a bad game.
Yeah, he did. Oh, boy. So the Vols suffered their first loss. That was Florida's first win over a number 1 team in regular season ever, I believe. So really interesting stuff. But
yeah, so that's the SEC is going to be that way this season. It's going to be up and down. You know how crazy it is, how many teams they have ranked in the top 25. They're going to cannibalize one another.
They are, man. And they got 6 teams ranked in the top 10. I saw your boy, Bruce Pearl, the crooked one. What's that? The saying that you like to say? I mean, he's so crooked he could sleep in a trombone.
He can sleep in a trombone. But you know what? I am actually a Bruce Pearl fan. So I like Bruce.
He's a heck of a coach, and he's got a lot of great energy. But he's been known to bend, if not break, some of the rules, just like your boy Rick Barnes on occasion.
Yeah, they all stretch it a little bit every now and then.
Ronnie Lane is with me on the line. So Friday, 5 o'clock, we're going to do a happy hour segment. Ronnie's going to be with me in studio for the 5 o'clock hour on Friday. I mean, you and I, we were out last weekend, and I pitched this idea, and I've been thinking about it for a while, and you were obviously very receptive. I'm glad you were very receptive because it's going to be great to have you in here on Fridays, man.
Are we going to have drinks? It's happy hour.
It is a happy hour. You know what? I'm working on something along those lines.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It'll be a lot of fun. We have so much to talk about with what's going on right now. Yeah, exactly.
We do have a lot to talk about. The Bucks and the Commandos on Sunday night. Todd Bowles pretty much downplayed, the primetime stuff. Did you hear that comment from Todd Bowles today?
Oh, yeah. We lose on Sundays at 1. We lose on Sundays at 4. Okay, come on.
Yeah, you've also won at 1 and 4, and you didn't win on primetime at all. 0-4 this year. So, yeah, hopefully they can buck the trend on Sunday night. Look, I think the Commanders are a good team, and I think the Buccaneers can push them around a little bit.
Yeah, but the Commanders are a different team than when the Bucs played them at the beginning of the season. I'm sure you know that, and I'm sure you've told the fans that. So this is going to be an interesting game. The Bucs, they can't come out dilly-dallying around like they did last week, man.
Yeah, and that was hard to kind of figure out in terms of, why this team gets off the slow starts, but I'll tell you one thing, man, and to steal one of your lines, there was definitely some furniture moving in the locker room at halftime, and that was the information, by the way, that I got. Todd Bowles like, oh, we were just talking about some things. Yeah, to hell you were. I mean, there was definitely some animated conversations taking place and some other stuff too.
He had to be upset with them trailing the Saints at halftime. Come on, man. The Saints are just a shell of their usual. I mean, they didn't even have half of the team.
Yeah, look, it was unacceptable what happened in the first half. I thought the Bucs were tight, but in the second half, they only allowed 3 points, 61 yards. In the last 5 games, they've allowed 9 points combined in the second half of those games. So they must be doing something right at the half, yet some people still want Bowles fired.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think a lot of that is being spurred by the fact that folks don't want Cohen, and they think that the Bucs can't have both next season. I certainly think there's a world where they can both coexist again for at least one more season. At least that's what I'm hoping happens, because the Buccaneers certainly cannot afford to lose Liam Cohen with what he's done for that offense, man. It's been incredible, Tom. You know that. We all know that.
Top 5 in just about everything, including, third downs. They're number 1 in the league in that category as well. So it's prolific. I think it's the best offense the Bucs have ever had. Some people have pushed back on that, and they say the 2021 team. And I, rebut that by saying this. That 2021 team doesn't run the ball not nearly as well as this team has run it.
That's the thing. And the Bucs became the first team in NFL history. I think you're onto something here. This may be the best offense. I haven't looked at all the numbers that the Bucs have had in franchise history, but they're the first team in NFL history to complete 70% of their passes while averaging more than 5 yards per attempt rushing the football. That's amazing.
It is amazing. And that's, a testament to Liam Cohen and his innovative, play calling strategy. Baker's had a great year. The offensive line obviously having a great year. And, what more could we say about our guy, Mike Evans, and the scene from Sunday? I mean, I'm sure you watched the video, and the Bucs social media team did an unbelievable job in following Mike, and he was mic'd up from the moment he made the catch, coming off the field. They followed him into the locker room. I mean, that was epic. That was one of the best social media videos I've ever seen the Buccaneers put out there.
Yeah, they did a great job with that, and I don't have enough praise for Mike Evans. I co-hosted his show when he did a show back in his young days. I think it was his rookie season. I was with him on the radio for an hour each week, and he just displayed what's the word we like to say? He just seemed to be mature beyond his years. He didn't seem like a rookie to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And, he takes a very serious approach to his craft. He works very hard at it, and it shows. I mean, only one other guy has done what Mike Evans has accomplished in the history of the NFL, and that's Jerry Rice, who's considered the best receiver of all time. I mean, just incredible, unbelievable.
The Bucs are very blessed to have 2 of the best receivers in the NFL, and they're not divas. I'm talking about Evans and, of course, Godwin. I mean, how fortunate are the Bucs to have 2 receivers who are as unselfish as those 2 young men?
Yeah, we talked about that. I think it was yesterday, the day before, and it's such a relief because you look around the league, you see guys like Tyreek Hill, your boy, 10 minutes after they lose to the Jets. Oh, I'm out, man. You out. He should have said that about himself. I mean, it's very selfish out of him. Very.
Yeah, what was the guy that was in Buffalo for the last several years?
I think Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. These cats.
George Pickens, you see a lot of, diva type of behavior out of him when the ball doesn't come his way. I mean, we're so blessed to have both of these guys here. And I know Jalen McMillan has really stepped up in a really big way, 7 touchdowns in his last 5 games. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Chris Godwin is not here next year. I bet you they find a way to bring him back.
I bet you they do, too, and I'm certainly hoping they can find some way to keep Liam Cohen around. Man, how much would that suck if the Bucs lost offensive coordinators in back-to-back seasons?
It would be a big blow, and I'm just telling fans, you got to brace for it because the Jaguars' job, according to our guys over at betonline.ag, he's the favorite for the Jaguars' job. But I think the job he really wants, Ronnie, is the Patriots job because he's from there, went to UMass, was a big Patriots fan growing up. I think that's his dream job, and that's a great job. If Mike Vrabel doesn't get that job, I think Liam Cohen gets it.
Yeah, I think Vrabel's going to get it. I just think he's the favorite right now. But you're right, that would be a great job for Liam. And I think he's in a position, just like Ben Johnson has been at Detroit, to sit back and wait.
Yeah.
He might get even better offers next season.
He could. He could. And he's 39 years old. I mean, he doesn't have to be in a rush. So maybe he's thinking to himself, okay, if the Patriots job doesn't materialize, maybe I'll just sit back and wait. And maybe that's the right move, because I wouldn't take the Jets job. Hell no. I wouldn't. I wouldn't take the Saints job. I mean, that's an even worse job there, and have to compete against the Bucs twice a year. So maybe he's thinking privately, and we don't know, it's either the Patriots job, which is my dream job, or else I'm just going to stick around here and see what happens next year. I mean, maybe that's his mindset. That should be his mindset, right?
I'm hoping that is the case, keeping my fingers crossed that is the case, because the Buccaneers, with this offense rolling like it is, I have a feeling Todd Bowles is going to fix that defense. It's young, and it's growing, it's improving. They've just been so inconsistent this season, and the injuries have certainly played a big part of that.
Ronnie Lane is on the line with us right now, and a lot of you are wondering, well, why is Ronnie here? Well, beginning on Friday at 5 o'clock, we're going to do a happy hour segment each and every Friday. Ronnie's going to be with me here in studio, just like old times, talking sports, cracking on each other, cracking on Chris Mathis, who's now kept man, Ronnie.
Hey, why do I got to get thrown in the mix here, man?
Because you're here. That's why.
Yeah, and congratulations, by the way, to you.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Your lovely fiance.
Much appreciated,
man. The lovely Lily.
Now, I know, obviously, you're doing 98 Rock Bucks coverage, but a lot of listeners keep, chiming in, and they're wondering,
are you still spinning records, Cowboy?
Absolutely. I'm spinning some. I'm going to be spinning some. That's a happy hour that we're going to be having every Friday. So I'll be spinning records, and we're going to call it the Thinking and Drinking Hour.
Yeah, I like that. And you know what? It'll be just in time for mailbag, too, 5:30 on Fridays.
Oh, Lord. Can't wait, man. It's going to be fun.
Well, I can't wait until Friday. It's always great to hear your voice. I'm sorry about your Vols from last night. I think you'll get over it.
Yeah. Long season.
Yeah, it sure is.
That's just their first loss, so hopefully they don't let that loss turn into several more.
Right. I don't know if you saw, but like Rick Barnes, I mean, they were taking shots of him like underneath the bench. Did you see those McDonald's bags underneath the bench there? Was I seeing things?
Come on, dude. There you go.
Filled with cat. It's legal now. I mean,
it is. So they don't have to put it in McDonald's bags. They just put it right in the player's hands.
Right there. Forget about under the table. It's on the table now.
Nobody involved with that basketball team deserved any money last night after that performance.
They don't deserve a McChicken sandwich after what happened last night.
You haven't seen anything like that. I've never seen it. How can a number one team in the nation lose like that?
That was bad. I mean, and that was like, they always get amped up to play the Gators and vice versa. I mean, 2 top 10 teams, you're number one in the country. It was pretty eye-opening. It was stunning.
It was, but hey, they have to come to Knoxville in February, so we'll see how that plays out.
Well, I know you're circling that date. Boy, oh boy, that should be a good one. And Friday, 5 o'clock should be a good one, Ronnie. I will see you Friday, playa. 5 o'clock right here.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks, man. We'll talk to you Friday.
Right, see you.
See you. That's Ronnie Lane. He's going to be back with me on Fridays at 5 o'clock for the happy hour. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, this is going to be exciting for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't know how you're able to coax him to come back on the show, Tom. I don't know how you worked your magic. I know you've made Trisha Whitaker cry on the show. Rick Stroud let out some emotion one time, jokingly. And then some way, somehow, if you missed it earlier today, you convinced Mike Florio, it seems like, to name Lamar Jackson as his MVP.
And you're going to hear that coming up just after 6 o'clock. Well, I tend to, provoke people and induce a lot of these emotions out of these people. Is that a good thing or what? Is that a problem?
Is that a problem?
Yeah, I mean, maybe for some people it is. Yeah, I do say that, Levante. Levante, another wonderful person, by the way. 5 o'clock hour brought to you by Reese Windows and Doors, a proud supporter and fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Hospital. For a free quote visit, ReeseWindows.com. All right, when we come back, oh boy, Would you rather have a one and done and keep Liam Cohen around, or have a long postseason run and lose him? Would you rather? It's going to be controversial, and it's coming up next year on The Drive.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
It is The Drive, and is presented by our guys over at Moss Nissan, where their goal is to never lose your business over price. TKras here, Chris Mathis there as well. And the holiday hangovers, if you've been a victim of it, or if credit card debt has you down, we've got the cure if you're shopping for that new vehicle, Chris Mathis. Tell them about it.
Yeah, we sure do, Tom. And with that being said, no money down at Moss Nissan, plus no payments due until the spring.
That is an awesome deal and promotion they've got going right now over at Moss Nissan. Plus, with every purchase, you'll get Moss Care, unlimited oil changes and tire rotations. I've got Moss Care. I bought my last two vehicles. That's a game changer.
Yeah, so what more could you ask for, really? You get all of this while selecting from the largest Nissan inventory in Tampa Bay.
You got that right. They've got 3 convenient locations: North Tampa, Newport Richey, also up in Brooksville, or online at mossnissan.com. That's mossnissan.com. Moss Nissan, whatever it takes.
WDAE Traffic Update. This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
Serious crash on southbound 275 at Lois. Only the left lane is getting by here. Traffic already jammed up from downtown Tampa. May want to hop off and use Kennedy instead towards the Howard Franklin Bridge and State Road 60. Also, we're seeing delays on westbound Hillsborough Avenue approaching Himes. Crash on northbound Nebraska just before Florida.
Moss Nissan on WDAE.
Oh no, the game is yet to officially begin.
What exactly is the game?
Well, it is not a quiz or a trivia contest, nor is it a test of brute strength or athleticism. At its core, it's just a children's game, and I would wager that some of you here this evening have played Would You Rather at some point.
And we play that game right now, 5:31 on your ride home on this Wednesday. Would you rather with our guy, Chris Mathis.
All right, Tom, let's get right to it. A lot of Tampa Bay stuff. But before we talk about your Buccaneers, if you were the San Francisco 49ers, and I think it's pretty safe to assume their window is closing, Tom, with all the contract money that's going to be due for a quarterback in Brock Purdy, would you rather look to draft a quarterback or pay Brock Purdy close to market value? And earlier today, John Lynch made it seem like Brock is their guy. They want to invest in him. But what's the right call here?
I think the right call is not giving him $55 million a year. Like, if you're going to re-sign him, he's got to be in the 40 to 45 million range. I just think that he is physically limited in what he can do. He's not going to take over games all by himself. Is he an overachiever? Yes. Is he a good quarterback? Yes. Is he like the upper echelon of guys? I don't think he's ever going to be like a top 7 or 8 quarterback in this league. And if you give him $55 million, that's what you're announcing to everybody, that he is a top 5 quarterback. So, excuse me, I think I would draft somebody, believe it or not. Maybe not in the first round. There might be some developmental guys that you might take a little bit later on, maybe a Riley Leonard of Notre Dame or something like that.
Yes, you also wouldn't trade for a quarterback like J.J. McCarthy from the Vikings. You'd have to give up too much capital, right?
Yeah, that would probably cost them too much. Yeah. And I don't think the Vikings are going to be dealing with the 49ers.
No, sir. All right, we'll talk Buccaneer football now. Would you rather the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have avoided primetime this weekend but played the most difficult opponent on Sunday afternoon, or played in primetime against Washington?
So you're saying, would I rather see them play like the Lions, like at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, exactly. Or play primetime game, which they've struggled against a team they've already seen before as well in Washington.
Man.
Yep, I know you talk about the primetime situation a lot.
Yeah, I don't like primetime. I tend to believe, and right now Detroit, I think, is ascending again, and they're about to get healthier. So I don't think I want any part of them until the championship game. If it comes down to Bucs and Lions in the NFC title game, I think we would all be jumping for joy at that. I think I'm going to roll with my chances against the Commanders, believe it or not, on primetime. You're at home. I think, the Commanders are a good football team. The fact that the Buccaneers have seen them is somewhat of an advantage. Now, I think they're a much different team now than they were in week 1. I'm talking about Washington. But I think the Buccaneers saw Jaden Daniels and his playmaking ability on display with those 2 touchdowns and the 88 yards rushing in week 1. I think he's going to try and duplicate that effort on Sunday night.
Now the Bucs have lost a couple of key players throughout the season at multiple points, and sometimes guys multiple times throughout the season. So, would you rather have Servassier Dennis or Chris Godwin back for this Buccaneer playoff run?
Wow. I love Chris Godwin. But with the emergence of Jalen McMillan, I'm not saying Chris Godwin is non-essential personnel. I think what the Buccaneers need right now is help on the defensive side. They don't need help offensively, all right? Because Godwin hasn't been here since, week 7? And the Buccaneers have been absolutely slaying it offensively. Top 5 in just about every category. I think they need help on the defensive side. Having a guy who can cover, who's got a nose for the ball like Servassier Dennis does, would be a huge help. I don't think he's playing this week, obviously. But if you're asking me, who would I rather have back for this game, I think it would be Servassier Dennis. I think he's exactly what they need back there.
Not much of a chance of rain inside on Sunday night. I know we're not supposed to say the R word. I just did right here on WDAE. Rain is in, R's in rain. And I checked the forecast earlier today. No sign of it come Sunday night. However, if you had to pick one, Tom, would you rather the Buccaneers have to deal with rain or wins?
I would rather have them deal with wind because guess what? I think the Buccaneers will be able to run the ball. If it's windy, I think that might be a detriment to Jaden Daniels and his connection with Terry McLaurin against that suspect Buccaneers secondary. If it's too windy to throw the ball, no problem. You know, that's the advantage of having a really good run game because a run game like the one the Bucs have goes anywhere. And you can compete anywhere at any time, whether it's here, there, Uranus. If you run the ball as well as the Bucs do, you can win anywhere.
The offense has started off very slow. That puts the anus on the defense.
I was ready to fire that one off when we had Ronnie on for the breaking news, which if you missed Tampa Bay, check it out on podcast at 95.3 WDAE on the free iHeartRadio app. Okay, continuing with Bucs football. Of the Vikings, Rams, Lions, Packers, and Eagles, which two teams would you rather not have to see at all costs this playoff run? Two teams would you rather not have to see?
Well, the Lions, one, I think they're cresting at the right time. You know, the Eagles are an interesting team because, you know, with Jalen Hurts and his concussion protocol, if he doesn't play this weekend, I think the Eagles are in trouble. So I would probably say those two teams. I think those two teams are the two most talented teams, probably up and down, offense, defense, in the NFC. I think those are the two teams that I would like to avoid if we can. But, you know, it's going to be inevitable. If the Buccaneers win on Sunday, they may very well get the Eagles in the next round unless they get picked off by the Packers.
Speaking of ascension, the Tampa Bay Buccaneer offense has dominated this year under direction of Liam Cohen. Here's a hypothetical for you, Tom, and the rest of you can text in 82945, start the text with DAE. Would you rather make it to the NFC Championship game and lose, Liam Cohen stays, or you win this weekend and Liam Cohen, actually, wait, that is incorrect.
No,
that was not. Where was that text, Tom?
It's the other way around.
It is the other way around.
It's go to the NFC Championship game and you lose Liam Cohen, or you're one and done and he stays.
There we go. Okay, which one are you taking, Tom? And it's all, you can only control the now as well.
Well, look.
But you want to think about the future.
I do want to think about the future. And look, I don't want to lose Liam Cohen necessarily. But, I mean, who's to say that he doesn't turn into another Dirk Cutter? You know, everyone was so up in arms, so high and mighty and, you know, in love with Dirk Cutter. And that didn't exactly turn out when the Buccaneers blew out Lovie Smith. They ascended Dirk Cutter. It didn't work. So I would much rather win a couple of games, have a nice playoff run. And if you lose Liam Cohen, then you lose Liam Cohen. Look, this offense is still going to be really good. Baker Mayfield has been through how many? Like 67 offensive coordinators since he's been in the league? It doesn't matter. You plug in anybody, and he adjusts. You either adapt and evolve or you die. And that's the one thing underrated about Baker is he's had so many offensive coordinators that he's had to work with, and he's had varying degrees of success with a lot of them, especially the last two since he's been here, because he's in the right place. He's behind one of the best O-lines in all of football, a really good receiving core, a really good running game now, a front office that knows what they're doing when it comes to the draft. Okay, if you miss Liam Cohen, if he leaves, then fine, so be it. You still have talent here. I think you're still going to win with that O-line, with that quarterback, with that receiving core. So, look, Liam Cohen's done a very good job, but he's not Sean McVay. I mean, he's not like Bill Walsh, the second coming. People just need to temper their expectations a little bit.
Final hypothetical for you. It is would you rather here on the Wednesday edition of The Drive. If you're just now joining us, would you rather the Buccaneers be able to keep offensive coordinator Liam Cohen and lose front office members like John Spytek and Mike Greenberg, or keep those two front office members and lose Liam Cohen?
Another really good question. And I think a lot of the Buccaneers' success has derived from the fact that they've been able to manage the cap extremely well, and they've drafted really well. And those two gentlemen have done just that. Spytek, more of the personnel guy. Mike Greenberg, has been a salary cap wizard since he's been here in Tampa Bay. And I think I would rather keep those two guys here and lose Liam Cohen because, again, you still have those elements, the good O-line, the good quarterback, the good receiving core, really good run game. Those guys are still good. And I think you're going to find no shortage of suitors. Like if the Buccaneers were to lose Liam Cohen, there would be a line around the block for qualified guys that would love to interview here, that would love to work with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and Tristan Wirfs and Bucky Irving and company. You get the picture? So I like Liam Cohen a lot, but if he leaves, he leaves. I think life goes on.
And there you have it. That is Would You Rather We Do It each and every Wednesday.
Everyone thinks the Bucs are going to fall apart if Liam gets another job. I don't think so. I think the Bucs fall apart if Tristan Wirfs moves on, which is not going to happen. The Buccaneers would never allow that to happen. I think the Bucs fall apart if Baker Mayfield's not your starting quarterback. Let's keep things in perspective, folks. With that O-line, with that quarterback, with those weapons at the skill positions, I think you're still going to be pretty good offensively, no matter who's calling the shots. Good job there, Chris Mathis. The 5 o'clock hour brought to you by Reese Windows and Doors, a proud supporter and fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Hospital. For a free quote, visit reesewindows.com. 888-546-4620. Text at 82945. So what are the chances Liam Cohen gets another job? We'll talk to Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com, NBC's Sunday Night Football. They're going to have the Buccaneers and Commanders on their channel coming up on Sunday night. When we come back, another edition of What's On Tonight. You heard the announcement from earlier today. You guys could opine on that. You guys could opine on what I just had to say about the Bucs offense and Liam Cohen. Life goes on, folks. More on that coming up next here on The Drive.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
And it is The Drive on your ride home. Be careful out there. All right, be careful. Because an injury accident, as I found out, can happen to anybody. Jordan Whitehead found that out too. And when it happens to you, you got to pick up the phone and call my guys over at Catania and Catania, the personal injury law firm that's been doing their thing here in Tampa Bay the last 30 years. They're the ones to call. I called them after I had my mishap, and they've got my back. They'll have your back as well. They work on a contingency, which means they don't get paid unless you get paid. Almost $1 billion has been successfully recovered by my guys for injury victims just like you. So protect your rights. These are the guys you need to call. 813-222-8545. That's 813-222-8545. Or get a free evaluation of your case online at Catania and Catania.com. So whether it's an injury accident, product liability, medical malpractice, God forbid, wrongful death, Social Security disability, I know some people who are going through that as well. Catania and Catania can handle.
$75 off your print order. Exclusion supply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Get your most accurate home value estimate at DuncanDuo.com.
Congratulations, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, on winning the South. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. What's on tonight with The Drive with TKras?
And here he is, our guy, the executive producer, Chris Mathis.
All right, Tampa Bay, if you missed anything from our program so far today, including the breaking news that we made an announcement regarding about 51 minutes ago, nearly an hour ago. It is available on the free iHeartRadio app, as well as Would You Rather, our conversation with Barrett Sallee, talking college football, all of that, all available at your fingertips on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. It's actually revamped, if you will, Tom. They have presets on there now. If you're listening to one of our music stations, you can actually follow along with lyrics live in real time, which is something that has not been done yet. That is remarkable, too. And while you're at it, make sure to watch TV tonight, because yours truly, TKras, you're going to be on tonight with Ronnie Lane. Is that right?
That's right, Ronnie Lane. We're going to be on Bay News 9 tonight at 10:30. And we'll also be on, I think, tomorrow. Let me see. We're taping a number of segments, and then they just run tonight, Friday night, and Saturday night, all at 10:30 on Bay News 9, Spectrum Sports 360. And we'll be talking about Liam Cohen and John Gruden tonight at 10:30 on the show. So check us out on Spectrum Sports 360 on Bay News 9 tonight at 10:30. There you have it. 888-546-4620. Text at 82945. Let's go to Muhammad in Wesley Chapel to round out the 5 o'clock hour. Mike Florio coming up. Muhammad, what's going on?
Hey, TKras, how are you? Thanks for taking my call, buddy.
Hey, man, no problem.
All right. I just want to really quick share my thoughts about the head coaching, Liam Cohen situation, and get your opinion on that. So, if I'm the Glazers, right, if I'm thinking, I'm worried about, Liam Cohen leaving, and if I'm thinking of making a coaching change, a coaching move in off-season, whatever happens this season. So, I think most of us, not all of us, as fans, as media, whatever, can agree that Todd Bowles is a great person of character, intelligent guy, but he's an average coach. He's not a great coach, and I don't agree. I don't think he's a bad coach at all. He's an average coach. Now, if I'm going to let him go and then promote Liam Cohen, there's two questions I got to ask. Because I want to, I want the Glazers and their managers to think this through. We don't want to go back to the days that, you feel like they hired people without thinking it through, or there was, other reasons or whatever. We don't want to go back to those days. So the two questions I will ask myself is, does Liam Cohen has what it takes to be a head coach? We know he's a great offensive coordinator, obviously. That's number one. And number two, who am I going to get as far as like a defensive coordinator goes? If I'm going to make that move, because I can't demote Todd Bowles. And the problem with the secondary defense, is it the talent? Is it the scheme? Talent, obviously, the coach has not much say in it. So, I just want him to ask these questions and make the right move and make like a thoughtful move, so we don't go back to the bad days, because they have made those moves in the past. So just want to get your opinion, and thanks again for taking my call.
It's great questions, Muhammad, and I appreciate the call as always, Muhammad and Wesley Chapel. And the first question you asked is a legitimate one. Does Liam Cohen have what it takes to be a head coach in this league? Answer, we don't know. That's why, I kind of second guess some fans who are just rushing to the front of the line, who are just pushing Todd Bowles out so that you can elevate Liam Cohen after 1 year being an offensive coordinator. And my response is, let's slow down a little bit. Slow down. Let nature take its course. Let's see what happens this week. You don't want any sort of distractions. The number one priority is getting ready for the Washington Commanders Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And Liam Cohen is going to get interviews. We knew that was going to happen. And if he gets a job, so be it. Goodbye and good luck. I wish him the very best of luck. It's the natural progression in this league. You do well as a coordinator, you're going to get looks, you're going to get interviews, and you're going to get hired by somebody. And who's to say that he's going to take any of these jobs? I think, and obviously I haven't talked to Liam Cohen about this. I would love to talk to him. being that he's from Massachusetts and he grew up a huge Patriots fan, I think the Patriots job is the only job he wants. I could be wrong about that. If he gets offered the Jacksonville job, Shad Khan is not one of the better owners in this league because he blew out Doug Peterson, and maybe Doug Peterson deserved to get fired, but he kept the GM, Trent Baalke. Who the hell wants to work with that guy? And I don't think there are going to be many guys out there that are going to want that job because of the GM that's already there in place. So maybe Liam Cohen feels that way. Maybe Liam Cohen's like, okay, I'm going to interview in Jacksonville. I'm going to find out what they're all about. They've got a top 10 pick. They've got Trevor Lawrence. Brian Thomas is a tremendous receiver, number one potential. So there's a lot to like about what the Jaguars have, certainly offensively. And I think that's going to be appealing to Liam. But the fact that the owner, for lack of a better term, is a goof, and that GM is still there, that might turn him off. And we'll find out when he interviews for that job. But I think, in my opinion, it could be Patriots or bust. If Vrabel gets that job, then it's very possible that Liam Cohen pulls a Ben Johnson and says, you know what, I'll stay here. I think I'm perfectly content here in Tampa Bay. Got a good thing going. Baker Mayfield is here. Tremendous O-line's here. Bucky Irving, Bucky the Ducky's here. Mike Evans is here. You'll get Godwin back. Jalen McMillan. And if he leaves, okay, there shouldn't be a firestorm of controversy. If he leaves, he leaves. Will they take a step back offensively? Maybe. But I'll tell you what, there's not going to be a shortage of guys that are going to want this job. My question is, do you still have Baker? Yes. Do you still have Tristan Wirfs? Yes. Mike Evans is back next year? You betcha. Bucky Irving? You betcha. He's a star. I think the offense is going to be fine. Let's go to Jim in Tampa, and then we got to take a break. Jim, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, TKras. Hey, but look, I agree. But here's the thing. You can't, unless the Bucs just get destroyed, and it was because of the defense, like 48-30. You can't fire Todd. I mean, it would be the wrong thing to do. And the Glazers are not the type of people that would do that. So, but you can't let Liam leave the building, regardless of all the points you just made. We went from 32nd in rushing last and 29th in total offense to top 5 in both categories. The guy, we had the talent, and the talent had to execute it, but the guy is very creative. So I would hope, and I believe, and I agree with you that the Patriots is his dream job, but I would think that the Glazers will sit down with Todd and say, okay, what kind of, can we have an exit plan, some type of plan upstairs? Because regardless, if it's a 2-year thing and then Liam takes over, you just can't let the guy out of the building. So I just like to hear your comments.
And I think there's going to be a conversation, Jim, and it's always a pleasure. I think there will be a conversation after the season. And maybe they all sit down and the Glazers are like, look, we want to keep you around. They're going to say to Liam, we would like to keep you around. If he doesn't get the Patriots job, of course. What is it going to take? Well, make me the highest paid offensive coordinator, which is certainly possible. And maybe there's a succession plan in place. But if he gets offered the Patriots job, I think he's gone. And maybe he takes the Jacksonville job, like under the contingency plan that Trent Baalke's not the GM. I mean, that's certainly possible. But I think it's the Patriots plan, or maybe he stays. But my point is this. Even if Liam does leave, the talent is here. Top 3 O-line, franchise quarterback, receivers everywhere, incredible running big game, running backs, tight ends. The tight end room is deep. We just talked about that. His team is loaded offensively. I think they'll be fine. 5 o'clock hour brought to you by Reese Windows and Doors, a proud supporter and fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Hospital. For a free quote, Visit them, reesewindows.com. All right, 3 hours down, 1 more hour to go. Coming up, should the Buccaneers be on upset alert against the Washington Commanders? What about the head coaching jobs that are being offered around the NFL? Who's going to get them? And could Liam Cohen leave for one of those jobs? A lot of questions. We'll get some answers. Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com, NBC's Sunday Night Football in America. He will join us next.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
January's here, guys. The biggest college football games are taking place tomorrow. And then Friday, the semifinal round. You've got the NFL playoffs. You need to download the Hard Rock Bet app if you haven't done so already. Get on some of these parlays. I know I'm going to be on them this weekend, and you guys need to get on them as well. Hard Rock Bet has all of the action for the pro football playoffs, the college football playoffs, MMA, college basketball, hockey. You can wager on them all. When it's time for that big game, the Hard Rock Bet app is going all out. They're rolling out over $5.9 million in bonus bets and a whole lot more. All you got to do is download the Hard Rock Bet app in the App Store and get to work, guys. Get those parlays in and make yourself some money, honey. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply.
how to do money and start listening.
What's up, everybody? Adnan Burke here to tell you about a new podcast. It's NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here, and after playing 700 NHL games, I got...
Good evening, 6:07 on your ride home. The Drive with yours truly, TKras, Tom Krasnicki, presented by Moss Nissan, is back on the air. You got Chris Mathis on the other side. 888-546-4620. We'll get to your calls. We'll get to your texts. We'll take you up until 7 o'clock. The final drive is on the way. So, can the Buccaneers dispose of Jaden Daniels and the Commanders again after they met on opening day? Are they primed for a postseason run? Are they going to lose Liam Cohen to some other team? Let's get the answers to all these questions right now on the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network DA hotline. Learn more at cfbhn.org. He's standing by from ProFootballTalk.com and Sunday Night Football on NBC. They'll have the Buccaneers and Commanders game. He is Mike Florio, and he joins us here on a Wednesday. Mike, what's going on?
Hulk Hogan the other night. What was that all about?
Oh, you're talking about Hulk Hogan and his reception that he got? The boot? Buccaneers giving Mike his respect and his credibility and showing him the kind of love that he has earned over the last 11 plus years. That was such a great moment.
Hey, they acted like they just won the Super Bowl. I mean, save a little bit of that euphoria for the postseason, but it does show how much they love Mike Evans. He has come such a long way with that team. He's a walk-in first ballot Hall of Famer. I remember interviewing him the day he was drafted in 2014, and he was so quiet. And he's still quiet, but he was even more quiet back then. And he just has been dominant every season. It was great that they did it, but it was risky, and it was a calculated risk. And, man, if that had blown up in their faces, if they put two guys on him and somebody jumps the route or somebody gets injured, there's so many things that can go wrong with that one extra play that you make when you don't need to make it. It's just good it worked out for the Bucs, and they can go into the postseason, and they're going to have their hands full on Sunday night on NBC and Peacock. Got to put that little plug in there. But, this isn't the team that came to town week one that the Bucs beat 37-20, and that's going to be, I think, psychologically hard for the Bucs to accept when they go back out onto the same field with the same uniforms, the same vibe, same players, different team than the one they manhandled to start the season.
I agree. You got to throw that opening game right out the window. It was the first NFL start for Jaden Daniels, and that team has come together. They won 12 games. They're a well-coached team with Dan Quinn. They've got some problems stopping the run, and this Buccaneer offense, orchestrated by Liam Cohen, who is now a hotshot head coaching candidate, they can put up points with anybody, Mike. You know that.
No, that's right. And the thing about the Buccaneers, they have a tendency to just kind of slip into a pothole from time to time when you don't expect it. Hell, I thought they were going to blow that game on Sunday. I thought, this is it. These are the Bucs that are capable of beating anyone and capable of losing to everyone on any given Sunday. And when are they going to have that sustained week in and week out dominance? One of the criticisms Chris Sims has of the Bucs is defensively they act like the opposing team has an incredible rushing attack, and they crowd the line of scrimmage, or they misplay defensively, blitz too much or don't blitz enough. And it allows them to be carved up in the passing game, especially in the middle of the field, like what happened against the Atlanta Falcons twice. So they need to be ready, because Jaden Daniels, we're going to find out what kind of level he can achieve of higher performance in the postseason. Some guys shrivel up in the postseason, some guys rise to the moment. And the last LSU quarterback to come to the NFL and do well, Joe Burrow, he goes next level in the postseason. We'll find out if Jaden Daniels can. If he does, Bucs are going to be in danger on Sunday night.
Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com, NBC's Sunday Night Football in America. They'll have the Bucs and the Commanders game on Sunday night at 8 o'clock on Wild Card Weekend. He's with me here on The Drive. So it sounds like you're leaning toward the Commanders in this game on Sunday night, Mike.
No, I'm not leaning one way or the other. We make our picks on Thursdays. I haven't really thought about who I like in this one, but I'm just saying the Commanders are a better team than I think we generally give them credit for. I think they would be the first team we would pull out of the NFC field to say this team probably doesn't have a chance. I think they have a chance. Now, look, the Packers are going to have their hands full with the Eagles too, but the Commanders have a very real chance, and it's all found money for them. That's the other side of it. There's no pressure on them. If they lose, so what? We're supposed to be here. We weren't supposed to even be in the playoffs. Let's just go out and play loose and play free. And in a 3-hour window, I think that's the hardest part of one-game winner-take-all playoff format. The better the season you have, the more you can just feel it all slipping away in that, one drive at a time, things aren't working today, what's going wrong. So, I just think the Bucs need to be on guard for that, and we all need to be on guard for that uncharacteristic but also habitual tendency to have one of those games where it's like, what the hell is going on with this team?
Well, look, the Buccaneers can play with anyone. They can absolutely score against anybody, but they're also capable of beating themselves, which we have seen time in and time out throughout the course of the season. In terms of the Commanders, you're right. I think they're a year ahead of schedule. I didn't expect them to be 12-5 and in the playoffs, but here they are with a superstar quarterback that obviously has the Bucs' attention. And we talked about the offense Liam Cohen. They're in the top 5 in so many categories, Mike, and he's starting to get some attention from other teams. He's going to interview for the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching job. So from what you're hearing, what are the chances that Liam Cohen gets a head coaching job this offseason?
Well, we saw it happen with Dave Canales, 1-out. We could see it with Liam Cohen. I asked Baker Mayfield about it after the Week 17 win, and he said, he hopes he stays, but he understands how it goes. And, yeah, it looks like, yet again, another offensive coordinator could be walking out the door, having parlayed one season with the Bucs into a head coaching opportunity. So we'll just see. 6 jobs, and we'll see, because it's still so early in the process. He's really gained a lot of momentum, though, in recent days. And I don't know how much you talked about it or were paying attention to it, but, there was kind of a vibe that if the Bucs had blown their shot at the division title, we might see a repeat of some of the oddities of recent years where Lovie Smith's out and Dirk Cutter's bumped up at a time when Dirk Cutter was getting looks elsewhere, or Bruce Arians, quote-unquote, retiring after Tom Brady unretired, and there was a vibe that maybe that was one of the wink-nod conditions of Tom coming back, that Bruce wouldn't come back. And I know there was some discrepancy about that, and, people will say what they're going to say, but it's just been odd the way that ownership has handled the coaching position, and they do what they want to do, and they don't think twice and they move on. But, look, unless they get embarrassed on Sunday night, it's not going to happen in Tampa Bay, and even then, I'm not sure it will. The question is, will Liam Cohen end up somewhere else, and could the Bucs convince him to stick around for 1 more year or 2 more years with a wink-nod understanding that, when Todd Bowles walks away, he's going to have that job. And they could also set up a succession plan like the Patriots did with Gerard Mayo, but I don't know that I recommend that after what happened with the Patriots and Mayo following only 1 season.
It's funny you bring up the Patriots because Liam Cohen's going to interview in Jacksonville. We think he's on their list, but he's a big Patriots fan. He's from Massachusetts, and he's talked about that at different points this year. I think the Patriots blew out Gerard Mayo because they saw Mike Vrabel interviewing with the Jets. They're like, we can't let this guy go across the street to the Jets. So I think that's why Bob Kraft made the move. So if you don't see Vrabel back in New England, then I think Liam Cohen absolutely is going to be an option there. Your thoughts?
Well, that's an interesting thought. And they quickly have complied with the Rooney Rule, which mandates face-to-face interviews with at least 2 minority candidates. They did that yesterday. They're interviewing Vrabel tomorrow. But the word came out today that they've requested permission to interview Aaron Glenn. So, yeah, look, we'll see. And doing well as a coordinator doesn't get you a coaching job. It gets you an opportunity to go in and meet with an ownership group and try to convince them that you're the guy, that you're the answer, that you can be the one who transforms from X's and O's specialist into the guy who stands in front of the room and motivates a team, is the face and voice of the franchise, multiple press conferences every week. That's what helped bring down Mayo. You got to look the part, you got to act the part, you got to talk the part. And I don't know how many times this year when he would give a press conference, I think, is this guy trying to talk his way out of a job? I mean, you've just got to handle details like that well. And being successful at the coordinator level gives you the chance to persuade someone that you can do it. And then you do it, and it either works or it doesn't. And it's almost like when you draft a quarterback in round 1. It's a crapshoot. When you make a coordinator a head coach, some of them work out and some of them don't. And the only way to find out if it's going to work is jumping in and sink or swim.
Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com, NBC's Sunday Night Football in America. You can get all of Mike's books for 99 cents on ebook on Amazon.
Not all of them. Not playmakers.
Not playmakers?
Don't get me in trouble.
All right, so Father of Mine, Son of Mine, and On Our Way Home?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad
not playmakers.
Not playmakers.
That somebody else published that, and I don't want to get any nasty emails. Okay. I'm applying a discount that the publishers get to apply.
Okay. I appreciate you clearing that up. So aside from the Bucs-Commanders game, what is the other wild card game you're going to be fixated on? Is it Vikings and Rams on Monday night?
Well, Vikings and Rams is fascinating because it's a rematch of a regular season game that the Vikings lost. The Vikings lost to 2 teams this year, the Lions and the Rams. And there's also the wildfires that are hovering over this. They postponed the NHL game between Calgary and L.A. tonight in L.A. I talked to the league earlier today, got a statement from them that they're closely monitoring the situation with the wildfires. They could move that game. They wouldn't delay it. They would just move it. Phoenix, Las Vegas, something like that. That would change everything. So that's a situation that bears watching. The other one that I think is really compelling is the Steelers-Ravens game on Saturday night, because the Steelers have had Lamar Jackson's number. When they got together a month ago, the Ravens won 34-17, but the game wasn't that lopsided. It could have gone either way. And I was on radio with guys in Pittsburgh on 93.7 The Fan a little while ago. It's hard not to look at this game and think that whoever loses it, there might be some changes. There might be some big changes that are made. You know, for the Ravens, it would be a horrible failure to lose at home, to go one and done, to get beaten by a divisional rival they just beat at home. And for the Steelers, with all that stuff they did in the offseason to make the team better, they're on a 4-game losing streak for the first time since 1998. They finished the season losing 5 in a row. I don't know what the reaction is going to be, because it hasn't happened in so long in Pittsburgh.
Well, that's certainly an intriguing game. I like the Ravens a lot. I think they're going to come out of the AFC, believe it or not. We'll find out. I think their defense is coming together at the right time. I think Lamar Jackson's the MVP. When you have a 10-1 touchdown to interception ratio, I think he's been great really from beginning to end, but that's certainly an intriguing game. In the NFC.
You reminded me, I got to send in my ballot. My ballot's due in an hour. Thank you for reminding me. I still don't know who my MVP is going to be. I hate to have to flip a coin over it.
So who are you deciding? Is it going to be Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Saquon Barkley? Look,
Saquon Barkley didn't set the record. And I know that Adrian Peterson won MVP in 2012, coming up 8 yards short. But at a minimum, Barkley would have had to set the record. And Lamar Jackson just has been uncanny this year. And I said the other day, generally, I think as a voter, what you need to do is trust your gut. You'll see people who have votes citing all sorts of obscure and impressive high-level stats to make their case. There's always a statistical formula you can apply to justify whatever it is your gut wants to do. Don't waste your time concocting a stat. Trust your eyes, trust your gut, and don't make it a career achievement award. That's the other thing, too. That's why I'm leaning Lamar Jackson, because this isn't about it's Josh Allen's time, it's Josh Allen's turn. That's the Hall of Fame. MVP this year, Lamar versus Josh Allen, sustained, consistent success and brilliance. Look at those numbers. First guy to ever have more than 40 touchdown passes and fewer than 5 interceptions. How do you ignore that?
And 4,000 yards passing, 800 yards rushing, too. I mean, that's never been done as well. So I think he's the MVP. You know, you got less than an hour. I think you should write Lamar Jackson in there and just get on with your life, Mike. I think that's the way to go.
The challenge is to not take brilliance for granted, to not get desensitized to someone who is unlike anyone we've ever seen in the combination of running and passing. And the problem is, he's not as appreciated in the regular season as he could be because he hasn't had the success in the postseason. But that's not what determines MVP either.
Right.
I don't care that he lost in the playoffs last year. What happened this season? From week 1 through week 18, what went down? And, yeah, I'm leaning hard that way, and I have 40 minutes to think about it and rethink it and unthink it and de-think it, and we'll see what happens.
All right, a couple of quickies for you before you write Lamar Jackson for your MVP ballot. Who's going to get the Bears head coaching job?
The Bears are uncovering every stone. They're creating the impression they're doing an extremely thorough search. I said earlier today, as somebody who used to interview candidates for internships and jobs coming out of law school, when you spend a whole day with this revolving door of candidates, you feel like you have been beaten up. And they're going to be talking to a lot of people in 2-3 hour chunks over the next several days. I don't know how they're going to keep them all straight. And there are just too many names to keep track of. I think at the end of the day, they're going to get an offensive guy. They're going to look at all the usual suspects, at least the ones who are on the list now. I know that they're keeping their eyes open for that guy that no one is thinking about who could end up being a great coach. A guy like a Mike Tomlin before Mike Tomlin was Mike Tomlin. Sean McVay before Sean McVay was Sean McVay. A guy that isn't in that that group of, oh, well, yeah, that guy, like a Liam Cohen, oh, that guy's getting us. No. Who else is out there that maybe is off the radar and shouldn't be? That's what I'm keeping an eye on for the Chicago Bears, because I think they're going to go beyond the normal barriers and try to find some guys that when their names come out, we're going to be like, well, that's interesting, and maybe that's the guy that gets the job.
I got one out of left field. Do you think John Gruden will get some run by some of these teams as a head coach?
There was some noise last week. I've been hearing for a couple of months. I spent some time this weekend as I was harvesting information to use on Football Night in America about the vacancies and who to mention, who not to mention. And I was thinking about mentioning Gruden as someone to watch possibly for the Saints. I've heard his agent is talking as if he's got a job in hand for Gruden. But you know what? Here we are, 3 days in, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Has his name come up once? Has anyone said that so-and-so is interested in Gruden or is talking to Gruden or has interviewed Gruden? Now, if you're currently with a team, it's impossible for your name not to come up if a request has been made to interview you, because that's the procedure. Everyone will know who Liam Cohen's going to interview with, because you have to put in a slip with the league requesting permission, and the permission must be granted. But for guys like Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, John Gruden, who aren't currently with teams, Mike Vrabel, there's got to be a separate independent report. But why wouldn't you? If you're trying to create a groundswell for John Gruden, why wouldn't you put it out there? If there was someone interested, why wouldn't you try to do it? Unless they're concerned that the PR blowback would shout it down and derail it before you had a chance to get it. But I think the better approach is legitimize it, normalize it, get his name out there so people know he is in play, and we'll see. But, yeah, if he's going to be in play, that's the one name that hasn't come up yet.
Interesting. All right, he's Mike Flory. You can catch him NBC Sunday Night Football. They've got the Bucks and Commanders game. You can read him at ProFootballTalk.com. And his books, Father of Mine, Son of Mine, On Our Way Home, available for 99 cents. Ebook on Amazon. And, of course, old-time wrestling fan as well. Mike.
What you going to do when you show up for a Netflix show and they boo?
1.21 gigawatts, Mike.
See you.
See you, Mike. Mike Florio. All right, so I convinced him. I turned him. He's voted for Lamar Jackson for MVP. And Lamar Jackson deserves it. 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Over 4,000 yards passing. Over 800 yards rushing, by the way. That's never been done before in the history of the league. I think Baltimore's coming out of the AFC. Yes, I know the Chiefs have the number 1 seed. But they've been living dangerously all year, and I think Lamar is motivated to finally conquer the Kansas City Chiefs and get in the Super Bowl. All right, we're here until 7 o'clock. We're way late for a break. 888-546-4620. Text at 82945. Coming up, good news on the Bucs injury front. And Mike Evans' good buddy is back this week. You better get ready. Ding, ding, ding. For another heavyweight championship fight. We'll explain coming up next.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
Guys, whether it's an injury, accident, product liability, medical malpractice, if any of these things have happened to you, you got to call on my guys over at Catania & Catania, the personal injury law firm that's been doing their thing here in Tampa Bay for the last 30 years. They don't get paid unless you get paid, and they've been getting a lot of money for their clients over the years. Almost $1 billion has been recovered by my guys for injury victims just like you. So protect your rights. They're protecting mine. They've had my back since my mishap. I am grateful to them. They'll be watching out for you as well. So whether it's an injury, accident, product liability, medical malpractice, Social Security disability, these are the guys you need to call. Here's the number, 813-222-8545. That's 813-222-8545. Or online, CataniaandCatania.com.
Participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
Experience the Anna Jar Levine difference.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
Lay off the brake and sit back, because you're on The Drive with TKras. Presented by Moss Nissan on WDAE.
What is it about you and Marshawn that seems to always kind of come to a head?
We're super competitive, but today he was just a little too emotional. Like, you don't throw punches at guys on the field, and I think he threw a punch at Lenny and he pushed Tom or something like that, and I just can't let that happen to my teammates, so I just shoved him, and then it turned into a brawl.
It did. That was Mike Evans to Jeff Darlington. That was 2 years ago when Mike was involved in another altercation with Marshawn Lattimore. And Sunday, it looks like the stars and the moon are aligning for another matchup between Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore, now a member of the Washington Commanders. Welcome back. Choke him. All right, just try to play a Bulls cut. It didn't come through, Chris Mathis, so I'm not sure why. I don't know.
All right, I got you. Was it a...
Yes, it was the grunting, for sure.
Tom, he wanted you to be available.
I do want you to be available, Mike. I hope you enjoyed your time at the Hard Rock in one of those private VIP rooms with your blackjack playing on Sunday night. Hope you won some money. He did win a lot of money. I mean, he won $3 million before he stepped foot in the casino. Hopefully he didn't give it to them. Where's my money, bitch? So, here's the news, okay? Marshawn Lattimore, who missed last week's game, the regular season finale, and he's missed several games this year with a hamstring injury. The Saints traded him to the Commanders, and this is one of the reasons why the Commanders wanted to get Lattimore, to face guys like A.J. Brown of the Eagles, like Mike Evans of the Buccaneers. Lattimore was a full participant at practice today with that hamstring. So, rest assured, Lattimore versus Evans is happening again this Sunday night. Can hardly wait. Ding, ding, ding. Let's do it. Yes. Why is...
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to play the Rocky one.
I should have broke your thumb.
That's right. You know.
I should have broke your thumb.
Because that is what's going to take place on Sunday night between Evans and Lattimore. I can't wait. I'm all for it. Can Lattimore stick with Mike with that hamstring? I'll tell you what. I'm taking him downtown. There's no question about it. I'm testing that hamstring. I'm running some 9 routes right at Marshawn Lattimore. Can you keep up? We'll find out on Sunday night. By the way, Antoine Winfield Jr., the Bucs had a walkthrough today, so they estimated, their level of participation. He would have been a full participant at practice. So good news for the Buccaneers. They may very well get Winfield back on Sunday, and Cade Otton would have been limited at practice. So it looks like they might get Cade Otton back on Sunday. I'm not so sure about Jamel Dean, but it looks like Winfield could be back, and that would be big for the Bucs. They need him back in the worst way. 3/4 of their secondary were out against the Saints. Some interesting text rolling in out of the 727. Liam Cohen is gone if he doesn't replace Bowles. This guy says, look at the last 3 years. 1 and done in Kentucky, 1 and done with the Rams, 1 and done in Kentucky. He has shown a willingness to move on quickly for opportunities. It's a good point. And I think if the Patriots' job is on the table, I think he is gone. And you guys are just going to have to, accept it. Because barring the Buccaneers losing 45-3 against the Commandos on Sunday night, Bowles is not getting fired. He's not getting fired to elevate Liam Cohen. It's not happening.
Tom, we love you.
Thanks, Coach. I'm just speaking the truth because, there's some people after you still. Look at this clown. I'm just so many idiotic texts. Why am I even reading them? TKras, you continue to slob John Gruden. My goodness. Shut up. Slob this. I asked Florio a legitimate question because John Gruden's name is coming up in NFL circles. Boy, oh boy, you freaking people. You only hear what you want to hear. There's no slobbing. I didn't say John Gruden needs to get a job, Mike. I said, is John Gruden going to be in contention for one of these jobs? Maybe the Saints job. It's going to be a job that not many people are going to want. And in my opinion, the Saints job, which may very well go to Aaron Glenn if he wants it. He spent 5 years there as an assistant. That would appear to be Aaron Glenn's job to lose, unless Aaron Glenn gets offered the Jets job. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler with the Jets back in the 90s. Maybe he goes there. So he is in high demand. He's going to get a job, Aaron Glenn, based on what he did Sunday night against Sam Darnold and company. Aaron Glenn's getting a job. Ben Johnson most likely is getting a job. And he's going to interview with the Patriots. He's going to interview with a number of other teams. The Patriots interview, by the way, is happening on Friday. And according to reports, Ben Johnson has told people that he's only going to interview for jobs that he's interested in. So apparently he's interested in the Patriots job. Mike Vrabel, though, appears to be the guy in the clubhouse leader. He's the leader in the clubhouse. So it's going to play itself out over the next week or so. I mean, Liam Cohen, I think, wants the Patriots job. I think that's his dream job. I don't know if he would take the Jaguars job with that current GM in place and, a bumbling owner in Shad Khan. Maybe Liam thinks to himself, well, if the Patriots job isn't there, I'll stick around here for another year. I'm only 39 years old. Until another job surfaces or whatever happens with Todd Bowles. If Todd decides to step aside or retire because he ain't getting fired, maybe that's a possibility. Who knows? I think there'll be a conversation. And somebody was texting in, assistant head coach added to the title. Is that still a thing? It's a thing. And maybe the Glazers decide to make Liam Cohen the highest paid OC in the game. Could that happen? Possibly. And maybe they stick that fancy title on there. But again, even if you give him the title and you offer him more money, it's not going to trump what being a head coach in the NFL will bring him. Whether it's the Patriots job, does he decide to take the Jacksonville job? That's up to Liam. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking. But I think, in my opinion, I think he wants a Patriots job. Unless that goes to Mike Vrabel, and then all bets are off. All right, when we come back, final thoughts, the final drive, and a look ahead to a really big show we've got lined up for you tomorrow as well. That is next year on The Drive. Chanel.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
Guys, kick off 2025 by impressing her with a timeless diamond from my peeps over at the Golden Diamond Source. And if you're ready to pop the big question, you can find the perfect engagement ring at the Golden Diamond Source like my guy, Chris Mathis, did. He just got engaged. Where did he get his ring? He got it at the Golden Diamond Source. Lily was so impressed. Oh, I'm so impressed. You got it at the Golden Diamond Source. Yes, my answer is yes. So that's not Lily, but, I'm trying to do my best here, Chris Mathis. So go in and see my friend Steve and Julie Weintraub over at the Golden Diamond Source. And if she has a birthday in the month of January, you're in luck. You can go to the Golden Diamond Source, or maybe your 2nd or 6th wedding anniversaries fall on January. You get up to 15% off the January birthstone, which happens to be garnet. You can also discover the Emily Collection by Emily Johnson Weintraub, a sleek and modern jewelry line that makes everyday gifts extraordinary. Plus, turn old, unused gold into cash or a stunning new piece. With gold prices soaring, there's no better time to trade up than at the Golden Diamond Source. So check them out.
DraftKings.com for details.
The Drive is live with TKras on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. The Final Drive.
Another coup for the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Tampa Bay region altogether, because the outdoor NHL game is coming to Tampa next year. The Lightning will face off against the Boston Bruins February 1st, 2026. Yes, the Lightning are finally getting an outdoor game. That was announced today by the Lightning and the NHL. Listen, if it can get as cold as it is tonight, next February, then I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to find a way to pull this thing off. Hockey in the state of Florida, everyone frowned upon it. But over the last 20 years, it has blossomed. It has grown into something that we thought we would never see. So 2 thumbs up to the Tampa Bay Lightning and the NHL for finally getting this done.
The Final Drive.
Yeah. I want to thank all of our guests today. Barrett Sallee was fantastic. College football talk there. The semifinals get underway tomorrow night down at the Orange Bowl. That's where he will be for Penn State and Notre Dame. Then Friday, red-hot Ohio State against Texas. 2 great matchups there. Also want to thank Mike Florio for coming on, ProFootballTalk.com. Great insight, previewing Bucks and Commanders, Liam Cohen and his job prospects, as well as the other games this weekend, and also the other head coaching openings as well. So great stuff there. Anything you missed, by the way, 95.3 WDAE.com. Click on the Drive. You can listen to anything you may have missed on our website or download the new and improved iHeartRadio app. It's awesome. They have scans. You can preset your favorite stations and your favorite podcasts. So WDAE, you can favorite that. When you open the app, it's right there. You can favorite your favorite podcast, which is The Drive. Favorite our podcast, commercial-free podcasts available through the iHeartRadio app. It's a beautiful thing. Tomorrow, Rick Stroud will be with me. Bram Weinstein, the radio play-by-play man for the Washington Commanders, he will join us as well. And we have Let It Ride 2 on a Thursday. Also want to thank Ronnie Lane for hopping on with us. That's the big announcement. Ronnie will be with me Fridays at 5 o'clock for the happy hour here on The Drive. Ronnie will be with me here in studio on Fridays. We're going to have some fun on a football free-for-all Friday. Great job, Chris Mathis, on the other side. Stay warm tonight, folks. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I see you on TV tonight, 10:30 on Bay News 9, by the way. Watch us there.